If you could change one thing about a movie, what would it be?
I don't know.
Welcome back to Time Sweeps.
It's a million What the fuck? And we're back.
All right, so we have movies, right? We like movies. But what if they were different?
Movies suck.
We like movies. But what if they were different?
What if one little aspect of a movie you could change?
And that effect, and like Butterfly affected the whole rest of the movie.
Or just
even
made
the
it,
rest of the
just
series.
made the whole message of the movie better, because that's what mine does, I feel like.
That's true.
So, because mine wouldn't really change anything that happened in the movie, but it would be like it would just like cut you deeper than it already did.
That's true.
But Wyatt,
I wish that the mic could catch the squeaking. I would change one aspect in a movie to the point that it would have to change the sequel that came after it if it happened when it was in the writing room.
I swear to God, this is what I think it is.
Possibly. I don't know what you're thinking.
Man of Steel.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Completely Star Wars related.
Okay, good.
well,
Man of
what would that
Steel,
be?
I would start with changing a lot of things. Mostly the tone. The plot itself is fine. Sort of.
What's your Star Wars
stuff?
stuff?
Sorry, I'm on Man of Steel. It's like a migraine that exists because someone who wrote it was like, I like crayons. I like drawing Superman. That's what that movie feels like to me. It's like,
all right, what's your Star Wars thought?
so in The Last Jedi,
Yes.
you get flashback scenes from two different perspectives of Kylo Ren and Luke Skywalker. And I've had people defend this scene, and every time I come back to the same point of, so he digresses as a character, and they're like, no, he wouldn't. And I was like, no, you described him digressing as a character. So we go to like a 26-year-old Luke in Return of the Jedi, and he's trying, like, he 3 years ago learned that his dad is Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
And he, instead of wanting to kill him, it's just like, if I have to, I will, but I want to try and bring him back. So you get to the big end fight. He does have a fight with him, cuts his hand off, and realizes even more so that it's not about killing him. I have to bring him back. He's like me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going down his path.
Yeah.
This is what Yoda was afraid of. You have that scene of when he realizes that the bad guy isn't really that bad.
Right.
He's twisted because of someone else, and in this case, it's the Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
So when we go 30 years, or like, it's not 30 years, but 20-something years into Kylo Ren's lifetime,
Yeah.
Luke has a bad dream,
Nice.
Force vision, and he's just
And-
like, oh, I got to go kill my nephew.
Yeah.
Let me just go stab him while he sleeps. Instead of
Right.
like having a conversation with him and being like, look, your grandfather, my dad, was Space Hitler, and I brought him back. I can sense the darkness in you. You don't have to do this. It doesn't have to be this
I
way.
don't know if Darth Vader was the space Hitler.
He wasn't the Space Hitler. I'm just using that as a phrase
He
right
was
now.
the
Right.
Space Mussolini.
But like I
He's
think he
not
was
even, that's a huge disservice to him. That would be like,
I know.
I think he was just the
Target.
space enforcer of Hitler.
he's the right hand of Hitler. That's
Yeah.
not the biggest point of this right now.
Right.
The big scary cyborg man that can chop you in half before you could think, I have to poop today. That's the kind of scariness we're talking about here. Before you could crap yourself, you're already dead.
Yeah.
That's one aspect I think the Obi-Wan show did excellent.
How terrifying he can be.
Yeah.
It's the one thing they pretty much did right. It's him just running around snapping people's necks. Just, that guy dead. That guy even more dead. Come and get it.
Mhm.
Obi-Wan, I know you're here.
Like, and whenever they did like the Force Unleashed, like
Yeah, I
style
don't
of
think
pulling
we've
down the
seen
ship,
in live action like that.
other than like
someone
Rogue
grabbing
One.
Grabbing the ship like
Oh
that.
yeah, that's
Oh, yeah, it's because they're
Because,
too
like,
afraid to do that.
Ray did that with a ship
Sort
this
of.
big. And it was like a fight against Kylo, right? And that's when she.
And that should be like a normal thing.
Right.
Like, there's all this stuff that makes the Force hard or easy to use, and I've always interpreted it based on the lessons that Yoda was trying to give Luke on Dagobah. It's like, if something's alive, it's easier to use the Force on it because they have the midichlorians, whatever. The Force is in it.
Yeah.
Lifting rocks is really hard because they're not alive.
Mm-hmm.
Same with ships. Ships themselves aren't alive. Holding back water itself isn't alive.
Right. Well, and see, I don't know why they're afraid to do that because they're like,
That'd be
think
too
of the Force
powerful.
Unleashed. Like that's one of the most badass uses of the Force we've ever seen when he
Right.
pulls the Star Destroyer down to the ground.
And in Legends,
And
there's
then
some stuff that's like normal.
Right.
And even like weird abilities with the Force of like manipulating
wonder-
it so that way you look invisible.
I wonder what if Starkiller? So you know how you literally just talked about like Yoda was like it's easier to move things that are living. What if Starkiller just pulled the people in the Star Destroyer downward and it caused
It
the
would
ship
crush
to come
'em.
down?
It would still have to
But
do
it would
something.
do- it would
it would
do
still start the ship to come down because
Right.
they're all going to die.
Right.
But it would take it a different way. But I still think that aspect of the Force is an entirely someone screwed up.
Yeah.
But with The Last Jedi, I would change the perspectives. I would specifically change what Luke saw and what Kylo Ren tells Rey. What he shows her is what he wants her to see. Luke, there should have been a scene of Luke explaining what he did, and it was like I had a conversation with him. He just didn't want to do it. Making Kylo Ren a worse villain because he was like, he chose to kill all these people.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing this of his own volition. He had an opportunity to be a good guy, but he didn't want it.
And that would make the return of him being good even more exciting in the next movie.
Give or take.
Right.
I mean, it would be weird because, like, I mean, the whole thing with Anakin is that he was fighting to save his wife,
He was
thought
fighting for
he
a
was-
better galaxy.
yeah, he
to
was
save
fighting
his
to
wife to save his children.
but he was just being emotionally manipulated because he was kind of emotionally stunted.
He was an autistic slave child that was bought up by the Emperor.
I mean, you're not wrong.
That's literally what happened.
You're not
You're
wrong.
laughing at a man's struggles. He has autism.
I don't like
Bro,
saying
dude,
this
does
coarse
this mean
stuff
all
and gets
autism-
everywhere. It's sensory issues. Oh my god.
Does this mean all autists have higher connections to the Force?
I don't know about that, but at least Anakin does.
All autists are 50% Force.
It also gets worse when you think about seeing how Padme interacts with him and the fact that he could have been using the Force to manipulate her to like him subconsciously. Did I just change your perspective on Star Wars, Connor?
I've heard that before.
Right.
But Connor's dead now.
Welcome to the autism.
That makes so much fucking sense.
It changes it. Changes
That
the
makes
perspective.
so much more sense.
Yeah, because she is like 10 years, 15 years older than him, right?
Yeah.
10,
She's
like, no, like, only
she's
not that much.
She's 14 when he is 9.
Yeah, so it's not
Yeah.
that big of a gap.
I mean, but think about it this way. If I met someone when they were 9 and I was 14, I would not be having the hots for them whenever they're older.
Right, and in that first movie, she doesn't. She's like, "Oh, this kid, this is
Little
neat."
Annie? Like, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it gets to episode 2, and she's like, "What? Oh, it's Anakin. Okay." And then it's like, Anakin's 10 years older now, all of a sudden, because of time dilation between planets.
Is that what they say?
That's what the fans say.
I
Because
I
he's
just
10 years older
I
now.
I just had a head canon for the longest time before you said that. That I was like, okay, I know he's 9, I know she's 14, but right now they're 12. They're both 12.
She's 14.
I know.
9
It
and,
just
9 and she 14, just like Weird Al said.
It's the thing about these high schoolers.
don't
It's the thing about these high school girls.
fucking dare.
See,
Quote
in
Matthew
Padme's
McConaughey.
She's the one who would say this about
Anakin.
autistic slave boys from Tatooine.
Stop. What about if Jar Jar was never there?
It would change nothing. Actually, no,
wait,
it would actually
it would
change
a lot
in terms of the
in
plot and
Revenge
how it
of the
happens
Sith.
down.
Yeah. Because he's the one who kind of just signs away the rights of everyone.
He gets the diplomatic issue, like,
Naboo would have lost that war too.
sort of.
Like
The Gun Guns would have had a better, like, a longer fight. Jar Jar's incompetence is what won them by accident.
Yeah.
So they still would have fought, and they would have lost more people. But I think,
You think
the
they still
Gun
would've
Guns
won?
still would have prevailed over the droid force that was there. Also, having Sifo Dyas in the movies, also that would change.
What if
things.
what if Qui-Gon Jinn never died?
Anakin? The events of everything would have never happened.
Exactly.
or at least they would have happened differently.
Well, I feel I don't know if he ever would have even.
Qui-Gon's the master that Anakin needed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But he needed a father. He needed a father figure.
Not a brother.
And he got Obi-Wan, who did his best, who trained him as best as he could with all of the things.
Who
that he
trained
learned
him
from
well.
Qui-Gon. Right.
Like, but just
too well.
Yeah, too well. Just not.
He made him into a killing machine.
He never trained him emotionally because Obi-Wan was very much like, we're a Jedi. We have to shut that part off of us. But he would break those rules himself. But he'd be like, no, Anakin, you have to be better than me, and you can't do this.
And I think
Anakin's like, I'm doing it.
And I think
right now. I'm doing it right now.
Okay.
I think Clone Wars enhances that with Duchess Satine.
Yeah.
Clone Wars is required
viewing.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like the prequels, Clone Wars is required viewing. It will make you appreciate the prequels and like give a lot more context to to the fall of Anakin and just like the story at large. Just like it's so like I've heard people like who've not liked the prequels after they've watched Clone Wars. They actually are like, oh shit, this makes I like this now.
I just feel like and I understand why, but I just feel like the Clone Wars in the movies were just like that's like a big chunk of time they just left out in between episodes 2 and 3. Like that's just like a lot's going on. We see the beginning and the end of the war in the first in the movies and
even in the original animated stuff. It's very fast for like how much time is supposed to be going by.
We got some news about speaking of Star Wars. We got some news about Fallen Order. The main villain is one of that species that's in the original 2D animated series that Obi-Wan fights, and he just keeps regenerating. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait,
like
really?
Dirge.
Dirge, yes. Like Dirge. So it's not Dirge.
Like the species.
But it's the same species as Dirge.
Because he was actually brought back into canon in like a Dr. Afra comic or Crimson Dawn
Thank
comic.
you for reminding me of the name. But yeah, so the main...
I don't remember what the species is called, but yeah, Dirge.
The main villain is the same species as Dirge.
I'm going to crap my pants.
Don't worry. Cal Kestis got a crossguard now.
Actually, I looked into this because there's official reports on gameplay with that. It makes his attacks slower but stronger.
Because he's trying not
I'm gonna
to
look up
hit
the
himself in
species.
the wrist.
Pretty much.
Gotcha.
They were trying to find trade-offs on why you're using these different tactics as well as being able to use a blaster. So there's different trade-offs between 2 lightsabers, double-bladed, single-bladed, crossguard, and blaster. You got your basic attacks, which are mostly the one-bladed stuff.
What's his name?
Dirge.
That's right.
Dirge. The way they dealt with him in Legends is absolutely insane. Anakin's the one that killed him by shooting him into a sun.
Yeah.
And it's like...
A die? A Jindai?
Let me see. Gindai.
Ginde?
Bandai?
But no, so that's going to be
Cretans.
brought
Gindai.
into...
Gindi Tartakovsky is who made the show. Gindai. It's got to be pronounced one of those 2 ways.
But that's going to be in...
That's up there with
Jedi
Shahagi.
Survivor. That monstrosity that we saw in 2D Clone Wars.
Huh.
Dude.
It just kept regenerating.
Man. Right, yeah. His species, they're
like the ultimate weapon of species.
Which I also think it's funny that they are known for hunting down Mandalorians at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And so that there was also that aspect, and then they were hunted to extinction. So when Dirge is wearing the, what's that called?
Armor?
Mythosaur skull on his chest, it's supposed to be like, I know what you are. I'm good to kill you. Anytime he sees a Mandalorian.
Mm. No, it's crazy.
That's messed up to have one of them.
Because when I first saw the guys, I forget the name. I think it was released, but when I first saw his face, I was like, "That's a Lasat." It looks like, but then it was like, "No, it's this."
Well, they should have like worm faces. They're like made.
Well,
of
I don't. I
like
didn't get a good look at his
organism,
face. I just saw a
colony
purple
organism.
face with like the nose thing that Lasats have, and I was like, "That's a Lasat, easy." But then I was like, I wonder if it's gonna be like related to his master in any way. But then it was like, no, it's this.
And then there's also that white dude.
What white dude?
The one that was kept in the tube. He's like wearing the golden outfit, Jedi robes and stuff, like he's from the High Republic era.
The one that was kept in cryosleep?
Yeah. Which we don't know what's going on with that, as far as I know, my information.
I don't know.
There's a lot going on with Star Wars right now that's kind of all over the place. I'm just here for The Mandalorian anymore. I have no high hopes for The Acolyte. There's a movie.
Didn't they announce a Vader show coming?
Did they? Oh, yeah, I forgot. There's a new Vader comic coming that sounds really cool. I don't know anything about a show. Oh, are you talking about that thing that's a comic it had like different stuff that Marvel showed
Yeah.
up. There's a
Was
new
that a comic?
crossover event. Yeah.
Oh,
They're
okay.
going to do like a new story that's going to feature bounty hunters and Dr. Aphra and Darth Vader and like the main continuity Star Wars comics. They're like, we're introducing a new enemy, but it's something you wouldn't expect. So it's something that's going to be completely stupid we've either seen before or they're like, you should have guessed.
J.J. Abrams just comes down on a ship and just like he's like,
Yeah, he just makes ape noises and starts pointing at people.
no,
and they explode.
Zack Snyder just
his
comes
power
down with him.
kill.
It would be like a floating MODOK situation at that point, but like movie MODOK instead
What's
of
that?
comic MODOK.
If I see
Look at
Spider-Man in a Star Wars comic,
your dick.
I'm just fucking going to their office and burning it down.
Yeah, no, at that point it's time to start over.
So I'm gonna talk about my change
All right.
to the movie. So I've had this thought for a long time, being an avid Toy Story watcher. So
There's only 4
you know the what
He
There's
can
only
still
4
avidly
There's only
watch 'em.
4 movies.
exactly, but I have 3 children that are in my life, and
Fair.
that's one of the movies I tolerate watching. Because Toy Story 2 is one of like my favorite Pixar movies. I think it's probably number 1 or 2 on my Pixar movie list.
Yeah.
That's going to be a topic for an episode
Um,
now is Pixar. We need to put that on the list over there.
But so the first Toy Story and the second Toy Story, like the build up, right? And then the Toy Story 3 happens, and this was supposed to be like the end, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they left it on a perfect ending, like they did with Toy Story 4 as well.
Exactly.
And now we're having Toy Story 5. We talked about this
Fucking
a couple weeks ago.
fucking stop.
And but when he's kind of like looking at him, when Andy's looking at Woody at the end of the movie when he's about to leave him.
I should put you in a jar.
No. About to leave him with Bonnie for like ever, right? Before he runs away.
Audience, don't read into that.
And he's just kind of staring at him for a second, and he kind of like pans on Woody's face for like a solid like 2 seconds. Imagine if Woody just like looked at him, like he's went from being like toy face and just looked at Andy and winked at him, and then went back to toy face. Just like Andy knew that they were alive the whole time. Like, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it.
See, there's funny thing to this. There's a YouTube clip where it's Andy in the car, and he's like looking in the mirror, and he sees all the toys like sitting up and rearranging themselves, and he's like, "What in the name of God?" And he crashes and dies. I'm serious. That's a YouTube clip I remember watching. I don't know who animated
I'm trying to
it.
be cute and sweet, and you're making Andy die.
Because
Okay,
I didn't do it.
you did it.
Andy
Someone
did
else did. Woody did it.
You have cancer now. You have cancer now, Woody or Andy. This is why we never could show you that we're alive. No, but like, just imagine, like he's staring at Woody. He's about to give him away forever. He just winks at him, like. And
Then
he,
Buzz
goes
just was
back.
like, stop it.
And then he goes back to being a toy, and then Andy just is like, "You're my best friend," and then just like gives him to Bonnie and like drives away forever.
Oh, it would have changed it. That would have made it even harder to make a sequel because it's like how you can't top that. That's an
Yeah.
emotional arc.
That is like so like I knew you were alive to me, so you saying that you're alive just proves me right. Then like all the good times we have and how much
I'm
I
not a
love you.
schizophrenic.
Like that was just being amazing. Like
He just says, I was right. I'm not schizo. Oh, wait, that's...
fucking Wyatt just have me thinking about I saw you playing with Sid.
What?
The Meat Canyon video. It's like, why would you play with me, Woody? I saw you playing with Sid. And then it's, oh my god, pain in my ass. But yeah, that would be my change to a movie, and that was just the first one that came to my mind because it's so like it would have been so powerful to me.
I had one in my brain, and now it's gone, unfortunately. I can't... What the fuck? I had it in my brain. It was so good.
Not
God
good enough to
damn it.
remember.
I was gonna say.
That's why I wrote mine down, Connor,
I was gonna say
on
if
the
you-
wiener paper.
It's a wiener paper.
I know.
It's the wiener paper.
Don't show the audience.
Yeah, we're not gonna show the audience, but he's just proven that it's the paper
I
with the
know.
wiener drawn on it.
Oh.
The Woody wink. That's what the
If-
penis is called.
If in like
This is the
if in like this MCU
Willy
Spider-Man movies, like or like something like that, they actually mention Uncle Ben. Like, and that would have added, or like Aunt May said, "I can't lose you too." Whenever she figured out that he's Spider-Man or something like that, I don't know. Like just adding that weight. That's all I really have.
You want?
I mean, like elaborating. I mean, obviously, I don't know. Like it's I mean, we've already talked about this though on the podcast, a lot.
I think the I don't know. I don't know if it.
I mean, it would have been weird, but like, I don't know. It just that's something that always bothered me.
Yeah, but I honestly feel like that character was made to not have an Uncle Ben, even though like that one time they like threw his name, like my aunt's been going through enough already with the stuff with my uncle, and like, what if his uncle was just a drug addict?
Oh, like he just divorced and
Yeah.
went and spiraled.
Yeah. What
Like
if
he still exists out there? It's just that no
yeah.
one likes him.
What if Uncle Ben's alive somewhere? That's the arc in the freshman year or whatever. Is
If
that
that's
Uncle,
still happening.
Uncle Ben
I
comes
highly,
back?
I don't know if that's still happening though,
Yeah, they kind of were just like, someone asked them and they're like, eh.
because like of
That
like
was
the
what
way
Disney said,
because of
essentially.
like because of that's the way. Honestly, the way they were going, they were kind of screwing with it, because like they swapped. They made it like a what if, outside of what if.
Right.
Like they made Norman Osborn Tony Stark basically
Oh,
in that situation.
Yeah, they switched it around because they were like, how can we tell a full Spider-Man story and also have these characters that are different?
Yeah, that was weird. I was just like,
Which I don't mind the idea. It's just the fact that it's like they marketed it at first very differently.
yeah, as like the actual story
Right.
of his origin story, and then they were like, nope.
Instead of it being like here's a Spider-Man story we're making original for Disney Plus. It was like,
I mean,
here's the origin of this Spider-Man.
dude, if they had like Oscorp like at the end of like No Way Home or something.
I really wanted Oscorp to be buying Avengers Tower, or I wanted Oscorp, or I wanted Fantastic Four to be buying Avengers Tower. Like, and we still don't have an answer to who bought that damn tower.
Right.
Still, all these years later. Marvel, what are you doing, man? I tried so hard to be your fan of these movies.
It's because they don't know how to embrace the absurd in a way anymore. They keep making it so that way they're trying to be funny, but the comedy should be coming from the fact that it's absurd. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They should treat it as it's serious, because if you think it's funny, it's not going to come across as funny as you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like MODOK as a concept,
That's hilarious.
absolutely hilarious,
That's
but when you try pushing it a little further,
Then it gets annoying.
right, you lose sight of what it can be. Like, I think James Gunn handled it perfectly with Guardians of the Galaxy. You have a talking tree person, a raccoon that's a cyborg, whatever Drax is, a green woman, and a dude that's from Missouri.
I'm not from Earth, I'm from Missouri.
Perfect example. Because in the first, I think that's another perfect example is between 1 and 2, is how this one's treated more comedic, and then this one's treated as much more flatline. These things are funny, but he's taking it serious.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the comedic parts of that movie are Star-Lord being goofy, like
Right.
dancing while there's no one there.
But that's very human.
Right.
Yeah.
Groot drinking from a fountain almost like he's a dog. Doing plans that he shouldn't, like he's supposed to be stupid. And Rocket's the parent.
And Rocket's trying to steal things from people that, yeah.
Right, yeah, like because he just finds it funny to take prosthetic limbs from people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get that.
It's
out of here.
right, yeah. It's just an odd joke.
This movie sounds like a D&D campaign.
Bro, so did you guys see that the reason why Rocket got Bucky's arm in the Christmas special? So if I don't know if this is true or not, so but I just saw a meme, and they pulled the thing, like the clip, like the screen grab from the end of Black Panther, was it? Was that the one with Bucky where he's like, we need your help for Infinity War?
Oh, yeah.
It was the right arm in the box, not the left arm, which is the one Bucky's missing.
Bucky's missing the right arm.
No, Bucky's missing his left arm.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I can't remember right now because I don't think about Bucky.
I think because remember in Iron Man, Captain America, when he's fighting Captain America, he's facing screen this way and he's grabbing it like his arc reactor like this, and then he gets his arm blown off. He's facing screen. It's his left arm.
But when he catches the shield, I remember it being his right arm.
What the fuck?
It is his left.
What?
Yeah. Like here he is facing camera. Unless this image is flipped, that would have to be his left arm.
Oh.
That image isn't flipped, and that's still his left arm.
Yeah, that's his left arm. Definitely his left. He looks so much better with a silver arm instead of that weird, like, the brown and gold one.
And so, yeah, if you go look up the Wakandan arm, I think it's the right hand.
So they just
And then,
made
like,
two arms?
So I feel like they
See.
were like, well, I can't help you with that arm because it's the wrong arm. But that's I think in the Christmas special he gets gifted a right arm.
I looked up Black Panther Bucky arm.
In box.
Yeah, here it is in the box. That's a left arm.
It is a left arm?
It is a left
okay.
arm.
Then the image I saw must have been flipped.
Or
Just for the
I mean,
meme.
I'm sure the Wakandans made several for him.
It
They also
depends on
made it
how-
quick detachable. You remember the look in Bucky's eyes when that happened?
Yeah. He was like, you cretins made this easy to come off.
On purpose.
My favorite part of that show though is like whenever freaking was it in the show or was it in Avengers where like Bucky's like I know The Hobbit. I read it.
That was in the
1930
show.
That was in the show.
In
Like, I wrote it
1930.
in 1937.
Yeah. How do you know who Gandalf is? I read The Hobbit. Wasn't that the line?
Mm-hmm.
Man. When are we going to see Sam Wilson again? You think he's
Captain
going to be in
America
Secret
4.
Wars?
Oh, yeah, he's probably going to be in Secret Wars. I mean, he's now Captain America for at least what's going on. So we're going to have to see him
Or
again.
Secret Invasion? Yes.
We might see him in Secret Invasion. Secret Wars down the line, yeah. Captain America 4 is supposed to come out before that.
That's what I meant, though. I meant Secret Invasion.
Secret
Because
Invasion.
that's coming out, like, soon, right?
Yes,
This
so
year.
supposedly this year. I'll believe it when I see it.
And then Rhodey's going to be in that
Yes.
show. And I think this show's going to set up Armor Wars.
It's going to do something.
Because Armor Wars, they're like, yes, we're doing Armor Wars. So
When?
Don't
Yeah,
know, but it's
they
a
don't
movie
know.
now.
we're supposed to get, I still don't believe that we're going to get Fantastic Four next year. They haven't even announced the cast for it.
Nope. No leaks. No nothing.
Well, thank God. I like being surprised.
I don't because I don't trust these idiots.
Fair.
We're going to show up. It's going to be Seth Rogen. It's
That's
going to be
fair.
Adam Sandler. Chris
And
Chris
Pete,
Rock
and Pete
and
Buttigieg
David
for no
Spade.
reason.
It's going to be
Pete Buttigieg as Mr.
Dude,
Fantastic.
dude, imagine this lineup. It's going to be Kevin James as fucking
The Rock.
Thing.
Kevin
The Thing,
James as The
sorry.
Rock.
The Thing.
It's a dude playing a dude.
And then it's going to be fucking Adam Sandler as Reed Richards. It's going to be David Spade as Sue. And then it's going to be Chris Rock as Johnny Storm.
See, my only problem with that is that I can't stand Kevin James.
Hey, gentlemen! Have you seen that clip going around the
Oh.
internet?
Wait, Chris Rock is Mr. Fantastic. Flame on.
Imagine that lineup for the Fantastic Four. It's just Grown Ups 3.
It would still be something, at least possibly watchable.
David Spade has just like fucking
Like fake
cantaloupes.
boobs on. Yeah.
and his goddamn shirt.
I can just imagine his voice. I turned invisible. He played the Invisible Man in Hotel Transylvania, so it's on theme.
He's so hot.
Yep,
He's so hot.
that was the interaction on the internet. His voice is too hot for him to look like that, and it's like,
It's fucking
David
David
Spade.
Spade.
Have you seen David Spade in real life? He's not hot.
I thought you were going like
His face looks like
somewhere
he
else
got hit
with
with
that for a second. I was
He's
going to say,
not-
what are
his-
you about to say, Gary?
No. I'm saying is I'm replying to those comments.
It's like, yeah, it's like,
Have you seen David Spade?
how
in
many,
real
how
life?
many parental issues do you have to have before you think David Spade's voices means this person must look attractive?
It's bad.
Ooh, I'm gonna leave that joke on the. No. Okay.
So
I'll stand by that one, even if it gets me in trouble.
No. I had a joke to respond to that one with, and I'm just.
Is it at least 7?
What?
I said, how many parental issues do you need? And I said, at least 7. Is that how many?
I said, and I was about to say, a quick stop to get milk's worth.
That works.
I'm trying to think of another.
Oh,
thing I
I've
would
got
change.
movies up my sleeve that if I was going to change one thing for better or worse, or just because I think it's funny, Evil Dead, change everyone to Muppets except for Bruce Campbell.
It's just an episode of fucking.
It's not one thing.
It's just an episode of Sesame Street gone horribly wrong.
There would also be this one's actually legitimate because I think it would help the movie, and I've actually talked about it before. If there was one moment in the entire movie that, like, if you could take it out or put in, it would be in Batman vs. Superman, just to hint that he knew that it was Clark Kent. Because to treat it as Batman didn't know that who Superman was,
Fucking stupid.
it's a disservice to Batman entirely. Like, let's say you don't care about XYZ, you're just trying to tell a story. It's like, there's certain things that... Imagine if I made a movie about... Give me a historic literary character, because I was about to say
Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes. And he doesn't do
Adolf
detective
Hitler.
things. Imagine a movie about Adolf Hitler, and he doesn't rise to power. He's just suddenly there.
He's just a painter that instantly becomes the leader of the
One of the best
German
quotes in all of Parks and Rec history is when Leslie's talking, and she goes, "I have a plan," and then Jeremy Jam goes, "You know who else had a plan?" And she goes, "Don't say Hitler, Adolf Hitler."
I was at the Hallmark Museum, and my dad was talking about I was like 13, and we were talking about different people who painted and stuff like that, and he says some president, I don't remember which one. I was like, you know who else liked to paint pictures? Hitler. And this old lady pokes her head around the corner, looks at me, and I like look at her with the most intense look a 13-year-old could have.
I just imagine your brother's eyes, because your brother has them eyes lately, dude.
He just looks at you
Like he's just like,
we're two raccoons in a dumpster.
for real, bro. Your brother just has them eyes lately. I'm just like, bro, stop looking at me, dude. You're gonna pierce my soul with that look.
Me and him sometimes will get to laughing like we're two homeless men that found a $20 bill in a dumpster, and we don't know what to do. But
Go buy beer with the $20 bill
yeah.
that you just found.
Don't ever buy weed from the gas station. Man, my eye isn't even in the right place anymore.
Okay,
It's
I
one
can
of my
look straight now.
favorite pictures. Oh no, the dude's face is slanted.
He just looks like freaking Sloth from Goonies.
Yes,
Hey, you
it's
go.
very much like that. It's just like he's.
What if in Frozen, if Anna was cursed too
With fire powers.
with fire powers, like we thought was gonna happen in the trailer,
Dude, that'd be dope. I'd actually watch that movie.
like Fire and Ice?
Like Waterboy and Fire Girl.
There's gonna be a movie about that.
I know.
I think it would have been interesting if they would have stuck to the original concept of what it was going to be.
Which was
The story of the Snow Queen, who like is a like wrathful, tyrannical ruler that dies, like an actual villain. Like she is the villain. The story of the Snow Queen is like it's a fairy tale essentially of like she controls snow and she's a horrible person. And then they were like, let's adapt this. And someone was like, no, let's make them
But
sisters.
that was also during the era of the
My name
Disney
is Walter Hardwell
twist
White.
villain, though.
That's where it really started.
Yeah.
Because they can't handle having legitimate villains
well,
anymore.
now,
for
well,
some
now that
reason.
now they're like,
What happened to the Queen from what happened to Maleficent, bro?
well,
They made her into a good guy, and it's
Oh.
not
they've
good.
kind of abandoned that, and
Angelina
now they're
Jolie.
going more towards generational trauma, which is weird.
They're still also not doing it very good.
Well,
That's the
like with like
problem.
Encanto is decent, but
yeah, but look at Strange World.
yeah,
I think that handled it better than Encanto did.
really,
Because it's also this, like, they don't recognize that, like, he is more similar to his father than he thinks.
yeah.
He's trying to make his son be something that he's not.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, this is closer than Encanto, where it's like, your grandpa became a house. Screw you for not having powers. Don't talk about our issues.
Do you know why that she doesn't like? Do you know like what the theory is on why she didn't have powers?
Because her power was to bring the family together.
Right, but like she's like supposed to like replace her grandma because her grandma doesn't have powers, but she's just supposed to be like that next like branch down. So she's gonna be like the candle ceremony or person.
The one who brings everyone together.
Yeah.
Like the grandma did.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's. Yeah.
Imagine I'd be still pissed, bro.
At least
I'm the only one in my family who don't have powers.
Yeah, no, you're essentially established as a magical housekeeper without powers,
I'm like, you're trash.
and you didn't get to choose that.
You know
were-
what I would do? Invent a
prescribed that
gun.
It's
at
like
birth.
reverse Mr. Gregorium's Wonderful Emporium. You just don't have anything.
You know what I would do? Invent a gun. Don't need superpowers with this. Goose!
Try talking to your animals now, son.
Try to lift the house, I dare you.
Did you grow a flower? Put that thunderstorm away.
Shape shift into a bullet. Next one to leave for New Orleans is doing so with the lead bullet in his back.
You think you're so strong?
It's like the video from
crying,
Family
asshole.
Guy. It's like Kermit's racist on Family Guy. He's like, "Hey, could you direct me toward towns? It's about the way you came."
Dude, no. I think we just wrote Encanto too.
Entirely. It's just that she has a gun.
I run this town with an iron fist. Like
I have the power of lead and gunpowder on my
I want
side.
her to look the same.
but sound like Chris Farley. Next one to leave this valley is doing so with a lead ball in his back.
That's what we're changing about Encanto in the end.
Oh my God.
Now it's just Chris Farley.
That was just Chris Farley yelling.
Instead of the lady from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's just Chris Farley.
I forgot that's her.
Oh my
Right?
God.
Yeah. So it's like now we know that she could also pull off the whole "I'm going to shoot you."
What? We just need to start writing movies
Obviously.
because that's Encanto too. Tell me that wouldn't sell.
I think it would put butts in seats. Popcorn in hand.
Apparently, Cocaine Bear is really high reviewed,
Oh, yeah. I wanted to go see it yesterday.
It's higher reviewed than freaking Ant-Man.
and everything that's come out this year. I think it had 100%
Pretty much.
by the Tomatoer rated it 100%.
Because apparently no one on Rotten Tomatoes has seen a B-level horror movie before
Apparently
with a
that's-
sense of comedy.
Based on a true story.
It is.
You didn't know that?
I did not.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah, there
until
was
like the other day. Like I've known it for a while, but like I didn't know that was based on a true story.
Yeah, the bear overdosed
Yeah, it's
overdosed
hard-
before he
hard
could do anything.
Overdose. Don't you go
Yeah.
to Gorsh.
But for like 45 minutes,
It's
he
still
ate
weird.
so much cocaine it killed him in 45 minutes,
Right.
which is saying something for a bear. But
Challenge accepted.
for 45 minutes, he was the most agile killer on the planet.
How many people did you kill?
Bro,
None. That's the thing. No one came in contact with him. They just found a bunch of cocaine in the woods and the bear who overdosed.
his heart exploded, I think.
Yes.
So my theory from learning all this is that next time there's a war, we just get bears high on cocaine
And release them.
and
Release the Kraken.
release the baby style from the Crudes. That's what I'm imagining.
Release the baby.
I think-
Release the baby.
I
And
think
then
the problem would be it would be a little bit more like Pulp
The
Fiction when they're in the basement and they're like, release the gimp. It would be a little bit more like that because the bear would be like, what's going on? And then it would be like,
food.
Russian meat.
Russian meat. What if we got Russian bears to do it?
Oh, then it's just a sick game. I'd
They already
watch.
know- 'cause they already know their prey.
It's like the
At that
Dota
point,
war.
it's basically Squid Game. We're not that far off from just a game show watching people die for money,
It's Hunger Games.
but with bears.
And they're hungry.
Can we start this?
It's a Hunger Game, but with bears.
Yes, but for in real life, like actually,
In real life.
like make the Hunger Games.
See, the thing with this
Both
is it would be
bears.
really
Build the Bear
easy
Hunger
depending
Games?
on where it is, because we could probably buy out a bunch of land somewhere in the Appalachian area, and we could just lure the bears into
That's
the
where the
area.
capital's gonna be.
Capital?
You guys don't know about Hunger Games?
Well, yeah.
So are we making the actual colonies, or are we just making a Hunger Games scenario where we release bears and people in a container and give them cocaine? What are we doing here?
We're doing everything. I'm gonna be President Snow, but I don't die. I rule
Why are
with an
you
iron
President
fist.
Snow? Do you just have a lot of dandruff or some shit?
No, I would dye my hair white. And I get one of those beards that one guy had in the movie.
If you can grow it.
I could grow that, I think.
Uh-huh.
Thin enough, like he had it. It wasn't very thick.
Just get hair transplant surgery from your head to your fucking
No, I definitely take it from my ass.
You know, on the idea of changing an aspect in a movie, I would also take out a scene in The Last Jedi, like where the kid picks up the broom with the Force,
Yeah.
because it's useless.
The
Yeah, it
most
is.
pointless part. You're like, oh.
Yeah, it's like, oh, there's something happening.
And then
No,
you're like, no, this is it.
it's like, whoop, stick it right up that beehole because it's not coming back out. Make sure that's blocked up.
Put it in your face mouth.
But there's a bunch of stuff like those little scenes that are just absolutely useless. Like I needed something to fall asleep to recently. So before you judge what I'm saying, I fell asleep to it, but it took me a while.
Yeah.
I put on Zack Snyder's Justice League because I know I'm going to fall asleep. It's going to happen. But not until after the Aquaman sweater sniffing scene. That goes on for 5 minutes. That scene doesn't need to be in there.
Not half the scenes don't need to be in there.
True. But this one in particular latched on to me for some reason because it's like, what is this? Whose fetish is this? What is the purpose of the scene? Bruce Wayne just staring at the water. Aquaman's gone. Like you already saw the ripples blow by.
And then a girl just gets his sweater go.
Pretty much. 4 women singing an Icelandic whatever speech, and then one of them, the most blonde, pale one that looks like she's from the Rob Zombie Living Dead girl video, picks up the sweater and starts sniffing it and singing harder.
I sniffed a little too hard there. I'm lightheaded.
Well, I don't know. I think that's more common. Like you saying, like, what is that? Like I feel like that's really common.
Like that in particular.
Like,
I just don't
right.
get why it's there.
Yeah. But like wanting a shirt that smells like a man that you like is
Yeah, in real
very
life.
common.
But my point is the scene was supposed to be Aquaman being like, "See you, Batman. I don't want anything to do with your little princess party."
dress up like
And
a
then he
bat.
leaves. That was the scene. That was it. There wasn't needed. The singing scene wasn't needed. The sweater sniffing wasn't needed. The scene being directed on this girl that you never see again, is never mentioned again, was not
I
needed.
haven't watched that movie since it came out.
I
Is it in black and white?
There's a black and white version. It's
Yeah.
no, excuse me. It's called Justice is Gray.
Fuck the world. That made the scene way more edgy.
This is
I'm
this is
still-
the Justice is Gray cut.
I'm still very lightheaded. Wow. I sniffed way too hard.
Obviously, someone doesn't do cocaine. Loser. I do cocaine.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Cocaine's a hell of a. Why isn't it possible? Why
Why
not,
not,
you
you
stupid
stupid
bastard? I want to know why. If
You-
that
you
all
need
takes
some
place
water?
in his
I'm good.
head.
Orange juice,
I'm good.
orange slices.
I should be fine.
BJ.
I feel better now.
Maybe I might need that.
I want to know what is there. What else? What else do we have?
What's a movie that you've watched that you didn't like? I don't like that smile. I don't trust the smile. Viewers, if you're not able to see this right now, there was a crooked smile that appeared across his face in like a Grinch-esque style, like he just thought of, I could steal Christmas from
Wait,
them.
the original Suicide Squad. Just don't cast Jared Leto.
Don't cast.
Or just don't have Joker in the movie
Yeah.
and have the plot be a succinct story.
I mean, you could just have. I mean, if you're gonna have him in, don't put the exposition of how like Harley got there. Silent Scion. Anyway,
What's sad is that the camera just won't pick that up. I mean, the mics don't keep.
There was Zion barking.
but yeah, but like if you have Harley just be like he abandoned me,
Point blank, it would have made
it would have made sense.
just fine sense. There's so much plot exposition to Harley Quinn. It's a Harley Quinn movie, not a Suicide Squad movie.
I have something I would change.
Yes.
It's not in a movie, but it's in a TV show, and it's
Yeah.
in my favorite TV show,
The Office.
which is The Office. So in season 8 and 9, Jim I think it's 9. Jim starts this company in Philadelphia, and Pam doesn't like it, but she says it's okay when it's not. I wish that never happened because it causes them to have marital issues, and you never want that. You don't want. I hate that part of the show.
I mean, so did John Krasinski. Apparently, it was supposed to go to the point where
He was supposed
Jim
to cheat. Like someone was supposed to cheat, and I'm like, bruh, that's Jim and Pam. That's supposed to be the perfect thing, right? That's like Spider-Man and Mary Jane. That's like you can't mess with that.
I don't know if that one's a good
It's
example.
like Spider-Man and Gwen Stacy.
I don't know if that's a good example.
It's like someone and someone else. Like it's.
I thought you were going to say Spider-Man and Black Cat for a second. I was like, I don't think that's a good example.
It's like Spider-Man and Harry Osborn.
That's a better example.
It's like Spider-Man and that's like Tom Holland, Spider-Man, and Ned.
That's a good example.
Okay, it's like you can't mess with that. Okay, because I would be very upset and people would be mad. But there's another change that I wish I could make about The Office is that Andy never went back to being a douchebag, because so the whole Andy's arc, right? He starts off in the show and he's a douchebag and no one likes him. No one, not even Michael.
Wait, Andy went back to being a douchebag?
And then we grow to love him. He becomes manager of The Office after Michael leaves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then he because he leaves Aaron and treats Aaron really badly, because we grow to love Aaron, another character that no one liked when she joined the show. And we grow to love Aaron, and then he poops on Aaron, and then, like, he just becomes the worst person ever. Oh, and then the main one for The Office, those other ones I could live with if I could just never have Nellie in the show.
Who's Nellie?
She's that. The fact that you don't know explains her character. She is a British character that is introduced after Saber buys Dunder Mifflin, because they go under they go bankrupt, or they are sold. They get sold, and Saber buys them for their distribution. And then Nellie is introduced as looking for a new manager after Michael leaves, right? And then she comes back as like special projects manager, and then when they go to Tallahassee for 3 months, that's a whole like couple episodes. And she comes to Pennsylvania, Scranton, and just, I hate her. And then you're like, oh, she's all right at the end of the show. But they had to do a lot of work to get to that point, because she's the worst. The worst person.
I mean, if we're going with shows on that kind of level, or this also applies to several movies, and it also involves the Muppets again. There's one Muppet I would just eliminate, or at least minimize.
Who?
Scooter.
Which one's that?
He's orange, has oranger hair.
Does he go just meep?
No, I wish. That's Beaker.
No, I know Beaker.
Right. Scooter is like, he wears like a little,
He's from
like a windbreaker track jacket.
Scooter, he's from Hooters.
But like, I just think Scooter's annoying. And if I could change one thing about the Muppets and people that say that Scooter's their favorite Muppet, it's like, I'm very perplexed.
Oh!
That Arthur-looking motherfucker.
Right. He, in the Muppet movie, like the original one, like with Kermit in the Swamp, Rainbow Connection, he is the band manager for Electric Mayhem, like Animal and stuff. But in the show, he's just like, he's under Kermit being like a stage manager type thing. But he ends up appearing in so much more, and he's just annoying. And when they did Muppet Babies in the 90s, he has a sister that no one likes.
Yeah.
And to the point that, like, it's not even talked about, and Robot Chicken made a joke about her being dead. Like, that they murdered her. It's a whole thing. But it's like, I don't know anyone that likes Scooter. Like, he's just annoying. He's an auxiliary character that's there to enhance these other characters, and then they try to make him his own character, and it's like, but he's not funny. There's nothing to care about.
Why do you care about the Muppets?
Huh?
Why do you care about the Muppets?
I grew up with the Muppets.
The Muppets were not it for me. I wasn't at that age. I wasn't like wow, old enough to I didn't understand. Like, I didn't appreciate the puppetry.
I was gonna say that was something
that's
that
why I love the Dark Crystal now. It's because I think I look at it as an art piece rather than a movie.
Dark Crystal, Labyrinth, the Muppets themselves, like Jim Henson's work.
Yeah, he
or
was a guy.
work by the Henson Studio until he died.
Dude, what if Marvel had the rights to all their characters when they started the MCU?
I don't think they would have done the Infinity Gauntlet saga.
No.
They would have done something entirely different.
I think they would have saved Thanos.
Oh,
sure.
no, I think that Thanos would have not even been the first villain that they think of for a big arc. I don't think they would have saved him. I think he just would have been on a back burner because he's kind of a joke.
Would they have done Doom?
They probably would have used Doom at one point, used and abused Doom.
I think they would
Done
probably would have done
Galactus.
Galactus first.
They would have
Honestly.
tried to fiddle around with Ultron at some point. There would have been a lot with
Magneto.
Magneto.
I feel like Ultron is like because that's honestly probably like my second favorite Avengers movie.
they would have
Age of
done
Ultron.
Skrulls.
But like I feel like he's just so underused in the MCU. Like he just was like,
They wasted him.
wow, they wasted him because that could have been a 2-part Avengers movie.
Oh, it could be an entire saga.
Right.
Movie. It's Ultron, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Like he's the one who originally like kills the Avengers, right? Like all of them.
Yep, after Hulk as well. We probably also would have gotten more Hulk, because there's a lot of comic tie-ins that would have had to have happened.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Secret Invasion, Dark Empire, Dark Avengers, Planet Hulk,
I just
World War.
World War.
World War
Thank you.
War.
I can't say words. And all sorts of different
We all
Spider-Man
do that
stuff.
sometimes. No, I don't know.
I don't know. That just like that concept that'd have been weird.
I feel like Spider-Man definitely would have been brought in way sooner.
Oh,
Right.
I feel like everyone would have been brought in way sooner.
We
Right?
wouldn't have had the same Avengers lineup, I don't think.
Yeah. No.
The
No,
reason
we
that
probably
they
would
did
have had
that-
the OG one, like with Ant-Man and the Wasp on.
Right. And granted, they had the rights to them.
Right.
They just chose not to do them. But I think they went with Iron Man because it was a character that no one gave a crap about.
Yeah.
They were testing it out.
I thought Iron Man was on the OG team.
He is.
It was Iron Man.
But my point
For
is
Hulk
I don't
wasn't.
think they would have done the OG
I don't
team.
know. I don't think they would have started with Iron Man.
No.
Yeah, they would have done something different. And I think the Avengers would have, it would be an entirely different thing. They would have went with
Do
what
you
would
think
make
they would have
money.
done the solo movies first and then an Avengers movie, or do you think they would have just started with an Avengers movie?
If they had Kevin Feige or something along those lines, that kind of figure, they would have had a team-up movie at one point. Because they
Yeah, but
figured
I'm saying, do you think they would have started with the team up?
Oh,
movie?
no. They wouldn't
no.
have started with that. They would have started with something that's guaranteed to make money. Like Spider-Man
Mm.
or the Hulk.
I don't know.
Ant-Man. Iron Man was a dangerous choice.
Which paid off.
It could have not worked. It could have not have worked, right?
Right. It was one of those options that were like, well, we won't ruin this character's reputation because no one gives a crap.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't start with Captain America because he's Captain America. Thor is Thor. Lots of people like him, but yet he's just kind of there.
Yeah,
And Hulk is already, he's had a movie that came and went.
and that was no one liked.
Yeah.
So when they came around 2008 to also make Iron Man and Hulk,
Well, and people don't like that 2008. I like that 2008.
I mean, it was
It's okay.
I
better.
think it's underrated.
it's better than 2003, but
Absolutely better than 2003. Absolutely. Blows it out of the water.
His dad, the Hulk. Yeah, no.
No, I just think I like that
Right?
movie because one, it's
I
nostalgic.
have no
for
idea
me.
what you just said.
2003 Hulk made his dad like a Hulk weird thing, right?
Oh no, he's the Absorbing Man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He experimented him on as a child, and that's how he ended up becoming the Hulk. And then he is the Absorbing Man. He's able to do different things. He becomes lightning at one point, and Hulk also
Wasn't
gets.
there two of them?
Is,
90
is
feet
his
tall.
dad
No.
canonically Absorbing Man?
I don't know if they use that name, but he's the Absorbing Man.
Gotcha. I haven't seen that movie since I was a kid.
Oh,
so
do
I
you
don't
mean
know.
like in the comics?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no.
That
Remember when we
Absorbing
got
Man, that'd
teased
been
for the
stupid.
leader too?
I know his dad was abusive.
That's true. Yeah, the leader, that was hinted at, and we were supposed to get that and have its own thing.
Yeah.
It would have been cool.
I mean, awesome.
Dude.
Leader is one of the most.
What if that dude ended up being MODOK?
That also would have made more sense.
Yeah.
They should have just
How would he have gotten
left
to the quantum realm?
Screw it.
MODOK!
I don't know.
He's MODOK.
Just let MODOK be MODOK.
I don't know.
I think MODOK should have been its own independent villain of the movie.
Did you see his interview though? He was like, it's honestly like a dream role. The guy who played.
Oh no,
Darren?
yeah, no, that's 100%. I would if someone walked up to me and was like, "Do you want to play MODOK?" I'd be, yeah,
Absolutely. Show my
make
little
me
butt.
a head.
Show me my little butt on screen.
Give me little cheeks.
Give me that little pinch butt. Which is what he had.
The Hank Hill special.
It was a Hank Hill butt.
It was concave.
Her name is Ladybird.
When your ass is concave.
She's real old now.
What are you reciting?
It's a song that someone made from King of the Hill.
What?
You've never seen that?
Not that. No,
I'll show it to you.
I've
after.
seen Butterfree. I'll choose you.
Oh, it goes her.
Dang
name
on
is
Charizard
Ladybird.
man go firing his butthole, man.
Oh wait, if something I would change in my Pokemon, make Ash age.
That's fair.
Yeah. it would have made the emotional weight of like him like beating the,
World Championship.
yeah, and like having it take years. I understand why they didn't do it, but like, it's just, it would have made more sense.
What if here's a change. Pikachu not being the mascot for the whole fucking thing.
That's the reason they did it was because to keep the starters neutral.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Is so that you wouldn't be biased to pick one starter like a Charizard or a Bulbasaur or a Squirtle. They made it neutral so that you wouldn't have bias.
And then there was the bias for everyone trying to get
Pikachu.
Pikachu.
Pikachu's like the worst Pokemon, bro.
They had to make a whole
like the worst
edition
electric type Pokemon.
of. They had to make a whole ass edition of the first Pokemon game to satisfy the needs of the public.
Ash's moveset doesn't make sense.
I don't know his moveset,
No, it
so I
doesn't.
can't help you.
I think he has quick attack. Well, so he like recycles like moves. Okay, so but his main one is quick attack, Iron Tail, Thunderbolt, and Thunderball.
Maybe.
Pikachu, use gun.
Use Thunder Smash. Pika. You know what I'm talking about.
Pika.
Oh shit, my fucking knee.
And on the fact of that, I'm going to end this episode here.
Ego Raptor's best video.
All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. Please make sure to leave a like if you haven't already. Please make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Wyatt, what's the secret word?
I almost said Pika. I'm sorry.
What's the secret word? Pika!
Change.
Secret word is change. Go down in the comments. Make sure to type that.
Pika
Wyatt will
P.
give you a gold star in real life if you do that. And, yeah, we'll see you next week.
Pika. Bye-bye.
Pika.